Worlds is in London next year. I mean, good morning. No. We haven't got time for a real intro today, ladies and gentlemen. The Pokemon World Championships is actually coming to London. You have no idea how excited this makes me. Every year, I get a whole bunch of messages from people when Worlds is announced going, "Hey, Wassy, you're going to be at Worlds next year." And every year I have to say to them, "No, family. But Worlds is in London this year." None of this, "I've got kids, I can't be spending hundreds of pounds, thousands really, travelling over to America because Worlds is in London next year." I'm a little bit excited, can you tell? And for all those people getting in touch with me going, "Hey, Wassy, you're going to be at Worlds next year?" Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm going to be at Worlds next year because it's in London and I can pop on a little bit of a train. Apologies if any of that shouting clipped. Seriously, you cannot overestimate my excitement. I didn't think this would happen. Now, there were rumours, but I don't think they were actual rumours. I think it was wishful thinking. Because Worlds in London makes total sense. Because in November, we're getting Pokemon Sword and Shield, which is going to be set in the Galar region being based on the UK. And in preparation for this, in October, November this year, we are actually going to have an official Pokemon Centre in London, only for a short period of time. I made a video, I'll pop a link in the description. So people looked at all of this and went, "Oh, could we have Worlds in London next year?" I didn't actually think it was going to happen. Of course I wished. I mentioned in passing on podcasts this past week how awesome it would be, but I didn't think it was actually going to happen. And now, instead of spending about $1,000 on flights, I can make sure I go on the site at the right time and buy a train for like 30 quid. A train ticket, I'm not going to buy an actual train. And instead of spending hundreds of pounds on a hotel, I got like 4 mates who live in London that I can kip on their sofa. It's amazing. Yes, I'm totally going to be at Worlds next year. But because it's in London. Now, the other reason London makes sense is that the Pokemon Company International's European office is based in London. So if we were ever going to have a European Worlds, it had to be in London for the logistics alone. It's the reason why the first 2, I assume anyway, international championships for Europe were in London. Now, they moved to Berlin this season and they're going to be in Berlin next season. But with the head office for Europe being in London, it makes perfect sense to bring them to London. And let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first proper International World Championship we're ever going to have. Yes, I am aware that in 2013 the World Championships went to Vancouver, British Columbia, which is technically in Canada. And I am aware that Canada is technically not the United States. But the Pokemon Company International's head office is in Seattle. That is a 2.5-hour drive from Vancouver. It is actually the World Championship that is closest to the head office. And yes, I know it was technically an international, but no, it wasn't really an international, ladies and gentlemen. Not in the way we all wanted it to be. But now we do. Now we've got London. London is a different country. It's a different continent. You ain't driving from Seattle to London, ladies and gentlemen. We are having an actual, factual, proper International World Championships. And I don't think anyone actually saw this coming. We all hoped for a European World Championship. With Sword and Shield in the Galar region, we all said it would make sense to have the World Championships in London, but I don't think anyone actually believed it was going to happen. Several people asked me how I'd feel about it, and I said it would be amazing. But I never actually thought it was going to happen. Now, one advantage of having it in London, of course, is that, well, English. Don't underestimate the advantage of having a World Championships in a country that speaks the same language as the US. Heck, we invented it, ladies and gentlemen. I say we like I had anything to do with it. It was a little bit before my time. But the fact that it's all going to be in the English language does make things a little bit easier. Now, in terms of time zone, we are generally 5 hours ahead of the East Coast and 8 hours ahead of the West Coast, which means even like the World Championship stream is going to be at weird times next year. Although having said that, we've had a couple World Championships in Hawaii, Though to be fair, none since 2012, which was incidentally the last time I actually got to attend Worlds. So, the time zone thing is not exactly completely unprecedented. And does Worlds make sense in London? Yes. London has everything. London is a fantastic option for the Pokemon World Championships. In terms of travel, it is really easy to get to London. It has multiple airports. They're not all really London, if I'm honest with you, but they totally count, and there are trains to get into the centre of London, so let's just count it for now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just count it for now. As for travelling around London, you've got the London Underground, you've got the London Overground, trains of a fancier name. We've got a really good bus network here. London is a fantastic city for travelling around. One, I do need to caution you a little bit. Do be very careful when picking your accommodation for London, because there are many hotels that will claim to be London but are an hour or more away from actual central London. London is sprawling, so do be extremely careful. I used to work in a place called Bourne in Lincolnshire, which was a 50-minute train from the centre of London, and that was totally counted on the commuter belt, i.e. people would live there who worked in London, and there were hotels in Bourne that would advertise themselves as being conveniently located for central London, despite the fact that they weren't even in the same county. So do be very careful. In terms of London then, why should you be excited? You should be hyped, ladies and gentlemen. In terms of landmarks, we've got Big Ben, it's a giant clock, the Tower of London, it's a giant tower, the London Eye, giant Ferris wheel, Tower Bridge, well, it's a bridge, it's not that giant. The Houses of Parliament, where you can go and learn all about Brexit. No, we're not talking about that today. The Gherkin, which is a funny shaped building which apparently counts as a landmark nowadays. And my personal favourite, Camden Market. It is not the posh market. If you want the posh market, you go to Covent Garden. But head on down to Camden, it's like a proper London market. If you want a nice taste of the London market scene, get yourself down to Camden Market. Incidentally, I'll probably be staying with my mate Tom, who lives in Camden. So cheers in advance, Tom. And you might see me wandering around Camden, I suppose. In terms of what there is to do in London, everything. London has everything. If you want shopping, you want to head to places like Oxford Street, which is a very big shopping street. In terms of dining, nightclubs, pubs, everything. In terms of sports, we got Wembley Stadium, and there's the O2, which does a lot more than sports, incidentally. And of course, we've got the West End, where there are so many plays going on all the time. Every time I go to London with a wife now, I have to take her to go and see a play because I'm a good husband and she likes plays. And yeah, there are many plays around. Now, if you want to get in the mood for going to London, I've picked out a couple of films you might want to watch. About Time. Now, About Time is a lovely film that I like very much, but it also has the benefit of being set like half in London, half in Cornwall. I am a Cornish boy, so if you want to see kind of where I'm from and where I'm going for Worlds, boom, watch About Time. Paddington, it's just fun. There's two of them. I love the Paddington films. Shaun of the Dead, if you want something a bit more gruesome, and Love Actually, although I would recommend watching that one around Christmas time because, oh my goodness, that's a Christmassy film. If you want to see London destroyed in a movie, might I suggest films like For the Dark World, Independence Day Resurgence, what's that one the other day? Surprisingly good. And 2012, but there's plenty of others. And let's face it, just go watch the episodes of Friends where they go to London. That's going to give you the best taste of it, ladies and gentlemen. I literally could not be happier. They were never going to make a Worlds venue closer to me than London. It was never going to happen. And now we're actually getting Worlds where I can pop on a train. Will I have an invite for Worlds next year? Probably not, because I still do have a very young child, and I've got a second child coming in November. My travelling to regionals next year is not going to be great. But regardless of the capacity in which I'll be there, I will be there. We are having our first proper international Worlds. It's coming to London, and can you hear the joy in my voice? I very much hope so. Every year I sit there. I used to, when I was younger, I'd watch the Worlds announcement and go, ooh, I can probably save up and go there, and then life would get in the way. Last couple years, I've been watching the Worlds announcement going, well, yeah, it's unlikely, isn't it? This year, I was watching the Worlds announcement thinking, what US city that I can't afford to go to / give up the time away from my children to go to next year? Wait a second, London? Yeah, the excitement is real. So, yeah, share this video around. Share my excitement. Tell me how excited you are in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And I've been to London many, 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 many times for many, many, many reasons. So if you want any information or guidance, hit me up on Twitter at the Wassy. I can tell you all about London. I got the knowledge, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, like this video. I mean, if a video ever deserved a like, it was this one, right? Subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter at the Wassy and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. Would help pay for the train ticket. And do be making sure you check out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.